Shalom. What I'm going to talk about here is what we say, our speech, the things that we say. Either what we think is, humorous and funny to get a good laugh, or we talk and say things to someone else to tear them down. See, what we say is just as important as what we think. Thought versus intent. Remember that all of us will be called to give an account. Every word spoken, every thought, that is what comes from inside of us. It says in the book of Jeremiah, "The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? I, the Lord, search the heart, and I test the mind, even to give to every man according to his ways, according to the fruits of his doings." Yeshua even warned of this during his ministry. We go into the book of Mark, chapter 7. He says, "Listen to me, all of you, and understand there is nothing outside the man which can defile him if it goes into him, but the things which proceed out of the man are what defile the man. If anyone has ears to hear, let him hear." See, this passage is getting into something a lot deeper, but right now I want to focus on what we say, what our speech is. Continuing on, when he had left the crowd and entered the house, the disciples questioned him about the parable and he said to them, "Are you so lacking in understanding also? Do you not understand that what goes into the man from outside cannot defile him? But it does not go into his heart, but into his stomach, and is eliminated. That which proceeds out of the man, that is what defiles the man. For from within, out of the heart of men, proceeds evil thoughts, fornications, thefts, murders, adulteries, deeds of coveting and wickedness, as well as deceit, sensuality, envy, slander, pride, and foolishness. All of these things proceed from within and defile the man." Then we go into the book of James, chapter 3. "Let not many of you become teachers, my brethren, knowing that as such we will incur a stricter judgment. For we all stumble in many ways. If anyone does not stumble in what he says, he is a perfect man, able to bridle the whole body as well." Let's look at the word bridle here for a second. In the Strong's Concordance G4568. Bridle. To lead by the bridle, to guide, to bridle, to hold in check, to restrain. So, in other words, if anyone does not stumble in what he says, he is a perfect man, able to control the whole body as well. Moving on in verse 3. "Now if we put the bits into the horse's mouth so that they will obey us, we direct the entire body as well. Look at the ships also. They are so great and are driven by strong winds and still directed by a very small rudder wherever the inclination of the pilot desires. So also the tongue is a small part of the body, and yet it boasts of great things." So in other words, like the bit in the horse's mouth, the tongue can steer the entire body. See how great a forest is set aflame by such a small fire. And the tongue is a fire, the very word of iniquity. World of iniquity, not word. The tongue is set amongst our members as that which defiles the entire body, and sets on fire the course of our life, and is set on fire by hell. For every species of beast and bird, of reptiles and creatures of the sea, is tamed and has been tamed by the human race. But no one can tame the tongue. It is a restless evil and full of deadly poison. With it we bless our Lord and Father, and with it we curse men who have been made in the likeness of God. From the same mouth comes both blessing and cursing. My brethren, these things ought not to be this way. For out of the heart comes evil, and the evil comes out of the mouth instead of what goes into the mouth comes out of it. Lastly, moving into the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 3. But immorality or any impurity or greed must not even be named among you, as it is proper amongst saints. And there must be no filthiness, and no silly talk or court jesting, which are not fitting, but rather giving thanks. For this you know with certainty, that no immoral or impure person or covetous man who is an idolater has an inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and God. So I'm going to cover a few of these words. Let's see, look at filthiness. Shamefulness that is obscenity. Filthy, baseness, dishonor. Let's see, silly talk. Silly talk, buffoonery. Oh, let's see here. What does buffoonery mean? Behavior that is ridiculous but amusing. Let's see here. So, buffoonery talk. Same thing. So, silly talk. Both words mean the exact same thing. Coarse jesting. Pleasantry, humor, fastidiousness in a bad sense. So, uses a word here called ribaldry. Let's see what that means. Amusing, coarse, or irrelevant talk or behavior. Blue comedy is humorous entertainment that ranges from bordering on indecency to indecency. Blue comedy is also referred to as baldness or being baldy. It's also referencing buffoonery is robbery in Shakespeare's comedies. See, jesting. Coarse jesting. Both words mean the exact same thing. So, whenever we're talking or joking around with each other, we also have to be conscious of what we say. We can say one thing and be meaning something entirely different. It's almost like talking in code. It has the same effect. So, I just wanted to put this message out also, just to give everybody some food for thought, something to think about. So with that, I hope everybody has a blessed night. Shalom.